ايش رايك لو جبت لك مختبر رسمي سابق للايلتس، كان يختبر الناس في اختبار الايلتس في قاعات الاختبار، وجيت قلت له ابغاك تقول لي ايش اكثر المشاكل اللي احنا غالبا نسويها والحلول حقتها. هذا اللي صار في هذا الفيديو، فليتس جامب انتو ات.
الشيء اللي انا انجزته في 3 شهور و3 سنوات يمديك تنجزه في اقل من كذا بكثير.
السلام عليكم وبركاته، اهلا وسهلا بكم، معكم عبد الرحمن حجازي، وهذا الفيديو عباره عن حاجه مره قويه اتمنى انكم تسمعوا زمان. عباره عن يا اخي اخطاء تافهه احنا كنا نسويها ونحس ما نحس بمثل خطورتها في الدرجات، والمختبر يقول يا اخي هذه اغلب الناس يفقدوا درجاتهم بسبب هذه المشاكل. فهذا اللي صار مع كريغ، عباره عن شخص خبير للايلتس ومختبر سابق للايلتس رسمي، وجيت قلت له اهلا وسهلا في كذا في ايفنت لايف احنا كنا موجودين فيه، وسالته هذه الاسئله: ايش الخطأ الشائع؟ ف it was something amazing. حبيت اسمعك هو وهو بالانجلش، حيطور مهارتك اكثر وحيخليك تمارس الانجلش هي، فحتكون حاجه ان شاء الله مره قويه. and يلا مشاهده ممتعه باذن الله. ايش رايكم انه ناخذ جوله لكن من جوا شوي او احد يديني كذا فيدباك من صلب الموضوع. باذن الله دحين راح ناخذ ان شاء الله تجربه بالاخطاء الشائعه اللي قاعدين الناس قاعدين يسووها من مختبر، ركز معي، رسمي سابق للايلتس، احد اختبر مئات الناس ومدري كم من الناس والاف الناس وشافهم يغلطوا قدام عيونه ونقص لهم درجات، لكن شافهم انه عندهم اخطاء معينه دائما يسووها في اختبار الايلتس. فمعانا باذن الله كريغ، فخلينا نشوف كريغ ان شاء الله معانا. Hello Craig, how are you doing? How's everything?
I'm doing very well, thank you, Mr. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for coming to the Lilac workshop. Right now, we have about 50,000 people live right now, which is insane. Wow. And right now, we just talked about how can we tackle IELTS? How can we ace IELTS? What are the steps? What are the techniques? Like practice listening, reading, and so on. It's amazing having you as a former examiner, official examiner, who have been, seeing a lot of people giving the IELTS, and so I'm really interested in. And can you tell us a little bit about your experience here in IELTS?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me back. It's great to be at another IELTS masterclass. I'm really impressed with the last one, and it's been a real experience for me the past 18 months or so, working with so many talented and hardworking candidates on the Dalok Academy side. So it's been really great to see people, and I give them some feedback, and then 2 weeks later they come back and they've acted on my feedback and they've been practicing, and their scores have gone up, and it's really amazing. It really makes my job feel really good, and it shows that your course, your IELTS course, and the process of doing practice tests really does work. And it's tremendous, really good. And I've also learned a lot myself. Every student is kind of different, but there's a lot of things that all students kind of do. And so everyone's got different academic history, different life history, but there are certain things that every candidate in IELTS kind of does, both good and bad. And I've done about 750 something IELTS practice speaking tests in the past year. And so I've kind of boiled down some of the common mistakes that students always make in IELTS speaking tests.
That's amazing. I think that's the thing that we really need. We need somebody inside IELTS telling us, okay, what are things that we should not do or should avoid. And I think you examining thousands of people, even in Saudi Arabia. So can you tell us the top maybe mistakes that we do in common, and how can we avoid it?
Yeah, of course. The first one is people don't prepare. IELTS is quite unusual among these English proficiency tests because it's supposed to be natural, the speaking test. It's a live examiner, and they talk to you. With other exams like TOEIC and TOEFL, you record your answers in the computer, so it's very, very artificial. So IELTS is supposed to be natural, but how many conversations do you have with your friends where you have to speak for 2 minutes in the middle of a conversation without interrupting? So it's not entirely natural. So the main point I would say is get used to the test, prepare for the test. it's not real everyday English, it's IELTS English. This is why you see courses English for IELTS. It's like English for business or English for medicine. So you can just study IELTS English. And then once you've got your grade and you've gone to America or UK or your university, then you can forget all about IELTS and learn English. But the thing is, familiar with the test and to get used to the slightly artificial environment that you're going to be in the speaking test.
That makes total sense. Thank you so much. Excuse me for a few seconds. I'm going to just kind of summarize that in Arabic. فتخيل المختبر يقول لك أنا أدري هذا الشخص ما يعني هو المختبر شايف يا أخي هذا ما دخل اختبار وصباح الخير ودخل اختبار وما هو عارف حاجة. فاهم؟ يقول لك أول سبب الناس يدخلوا فيه محسبين اختبار ب3 دقائق، اختبروا يحسبوا اختبار لغة فقط ويدخلوا ينجلد في الاختبار. فهذه ترجمتي الأبريانية شوية الغير حرفية. فايوه يعني يقول لك ركز على الاختبار. هذا يعني الاختبارات الثانيه صح انها موجوده، لكن هذا الاختبار يركز على يعني هو مخصص، يعني هو ما هو فقط لغه انجليزيه. يقول لك لغه انجليزيه لاختبار ايلتس او التجهيز لاختبار ايلتس، هو يسميه انجلش فور ايلتس، ما هو لغه انجليزيه بشكل. فيقول لك ركز عليه اول حاجه، خلص الايلتس وبعدين استمتع، سوي اللي تبغاه. يعني ما احد الناس مثلا، هذه حاجه بضيفها من كيسي، انه مثل بعض الناس يقولوا انه يا اخي انا اتفرج مسلسلات كثير، اختبار ايلتس ما بركز على الفكره، واللغه السلانج اللي موجوده ما هي موجوده في اختبار ايلتس. فهذه من احد الطرق ممكن تبطئك من انك تجيب الدرجه. فاقول لك ركز على الايلتس، ركز على الانجلش فور ايلتس. Thank you, Craig. So what else do you think that we're making, like mistakes that we're making in common?
There's a common tendency for people who get a really good practice score when they do the IELTS practice test and they get 6.5 or 7. And I think the tendency is to kind of rest on their laurels and think, oh, that's it, I don't need to do anything else. And then they come back after their real test and they say, oh, the question was really difficult, the questions weren't as easy, the examiner was really hard, he didn't encourage me.
Happens a lot.
People stop practicing. You know, the more IELTS example questions you practice, the more part 2 questions and part 3 questions you see, the better. It's such a cliche. People say practice makes perfect, but people don't really practice.
They don't.
They think because they can do one part 2 question really well, and then they do the real test, something outside their experience, and it floors them. And it's really unfortunate. So please don't stop practicing, basically.
Yeah, it is kind of like you think you've got it, but maybe it was something that you just practiced yesterday and that's why you got the 6.5. So yeah, and people stop. That's true. Or otherwise they go to the exam center and they think we've got it. We don't have to focus. We don't have to focus on performing in the test center, and because they just got a 6 as you mentioned. So that's a really critical point. هذه نقطة صراحة يعني ذكرها كريغ، إنه الاعتماد على أمجادك وإنجازاتك السابقة. إنه مثلا إذا تأخذ اختبار تجريبي وجبت فيه 7 بس من اختبار واحد، يعني أنت ما جربت، ما اختبرت 3، ما أخذت المتوسط حقك، يقول الآن خلاص أنا أختمها وروح الاختبار وهو ما يبغى يتاك، يعني خلاص يوقف، يقول لك أنا الحمد لله جبت 6.5 في أول اختبار أو اختبار كذا تجريبي، ويوقف يتدرب. ويجي له نوع الثاني من الأسئلة، مثلا شفتوا أسئلة الكتابة جاء لاين شارت، قال أنا الحمد لله ما يدري إنه لاين شارت فيه 7 أنواع في التاسك 1، فلازم يدرب عليه كلها ترى. تمام، فما يكون يدرب عليه ويقول لك لا الاختبار كان صعب الناس وجالي موضوع أبدا ما يكون موجود. قلت ترى إيش جاء عليه؟ يقول لك باي تشارت، يقول باي تشارت دائما موجودة في الاختبار، فينك؟ أيوه، that's a really critical point. What else, Craig, do you think everybody's missing?
This is a very common error that Arabic speakers particularly make. There's a few kind of native language interference. For example, in Arabic, I think when you're talking about the past, you say, oh, before 1 week. It should be 1 week ago. But the most common one is when people say yani. So instead of like something yani,
instead of saying they say yani, yeah, got it. I used to do that a lot, right?
Yeah, it's what you call a habit, and it's really difficult to break this habit. But native speakers, when they're talking, they always say things like what, like, you know, how do you say, what's the word? And you're quite able to say things like that in the speaking test, as long as you're speaking English. No examiner will mind if you say, oh, excuse me, I'm really nervous, as long as you're saying it in English. I speak to a lot of Japanese students as well, and they always say like, oido, nandoro. It's the same thing. You hear this in every language. So if you can, try and break this habit of saying yani. Things like inshallah and alhamdulillah and mashallah. Most people kind of know what these mean, but yani is really off-putting, so try not to do it. And quite a lot after the test, I say, oh, try not to say yani. And they go, oh no, oh, did I say it? It's really unconscious. It's a really, it's a habit to break.
Right. You need to start working on it from now. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I mean, the best way to break this kind of habit is to record yourself speaking. When you listen to it again, just note how many times you said yani, and then try it again, just saying things like, how do I say, or like, you know, well, anything else, and just try and break the habit like that. But it's tough. It's tough.
It is, yeah. It takes a little practice. Again, most of us of the attendees today, they're starting their journey. So I think it's a perfect time. And thank you for mentioning it, because it's a good time to fix it from now, right? So in Arabic, فين guys الفكرة واضحة. يعني كل شوية ويقول لك يعني وتكمل إنجليزي، فهي عادة. ويقول لك إذا ما كسرتها بتعاني في الاختبار ودرجاتك باختصار يعني أفهمها. فيقول لك استبدلها، تقول like how to say، استبدلها بزي كده، استبدلها من دحين احسن لك وريح لك كمان. وما في يعني، هي عاده وصعب انك تشيلها في يوم واحد، تقول بكره اختباري خلاص ما حستخدم يعني صراحه. ف ايوه هذه تعتبر افضل، وكمان افضل منك كمان انك تستخدم الكلمات هذه. تقول لك wait a second، زي ما قال لك like and so on. So all right, so that's a really critical point. Yeah, it's a point that most of us don't even think that they're doing wrong, to be honest, right? What's something else that you think we're doing?
It's probably the most important one. I got so frustrated with people giving really short answers to questions that now before the test I always say, like, top tip, speak as much as you can. Show off your English, demonstrate how good you are. So many people, I would say, so let's talk about reading. Do you enjoy reading? Yes.
That's insane. Yeah. Do something. All right.
Like, oh yes, I read every day. I really enjoy reading books about history and politics. You know, it answers the question, but it's the kind of spirit of IELTS. It's supposed to be a conversation. And, you know, if you're talking with your friends in Starbucks and you say, so are you going on holiday this year? Your friend won't just say no or yes. He'll say, yes, I'm going to Hong Kong. It's fantastic. I'm really looking forward to going, you know, the plane we're flying on, Emirates. It's going to be great. We're staying in a really nice hotel. You know, if that person just said yes, no, I don't know, you probably wouldn't be friends with him, you know. So just try and loosen your tongue and give long answers. I don't think you will ever lose points for talking too much, but talking
that's a good point. Yeah.
Points.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense, because for me, I usually think whenever somebody asking me in the exam, like, do you like playing football? So in my mind, I think the examiner asked me, do you like playing football and why do you like doing that? So it kind of helps me to add details. And then, why do you like it? I like it because of this. Why did that happen? So I keep asking myself why too many times, like multiple times, till I feel like I've given kind of the complete answer, or kind of the length that the examiner is looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. So, examiners really don't like, you know, do you like reading? Yes. Why? Yeah.
They don't like, I've noticed they don't like asking you why, because they're expecting you're coming to an exam, not just to say, or be in an interrogation saying yes, no, blah, blah, blah. Right.
Absolutely. You know, so just speak, you know, show off your English. So many people I've spoken to are really good. You know, I was an examiner for a year, and, you know, the average student was 4.5 or 5. And there's a lot of people who are 6.5 and 7. So people have really good English and really confident English in the Middle East. So don't be shy. Speak a lot. Show off. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. فالأجوبة المختصرة باختصار شيء بيقهر المختبر، ما بيديله ساعة إنه يقيمك ويحسسك زي كأنه هو شخص ما هو عارف يتكلم، دائما ينقص درجات. فأحد يقول لك أنت رايح زي مثال، إذا أنت مع صاحبك تقول له هل أنت رايح أي مكان في الصيف؟ تقول لا. وصح وسألك هل أنت رايح؟ تقول له لا، لكن هو منطقية، لكن في الأكشن ما تنفع. فأنت زي ما مع أصحابك يقول لا أيوه صراحة أنا رايح وما أدري إيش وزي كذا، تضيف تفاصيل. يقول لك في الاختبار نفس الشيء، هو يبغى يشوف لغتك ويبغاك تستخدم اللغة. سؤال ديتيلز جاوب عليه، يقول له إيوه أنا رايح، لا ماني رايح لأنه ما أدري إيش ولأنه إيش ولأنه إيش. ويقول لك يعني هذه النقطة كذا، يقول لك المختبر أو الشخص اللي بيدي الاختبار أبداً ما حينقص درجة لأنه يتكلم كثير. هو أسوأ شيء ممكن يصير لك المختبر يقول لك أوكي خلاص ما شاء الله عليك روح السؤال بعد. هذا أسوأ شيء ممكن يصير. لكن إذا تكلمت أقل احتمال جدا كبير من درجاتك تتأثر. نقول هذا الفرق بين 4.5 و6.5 في اختبار محاثة تحديدا. Well, that's a lot of points to work on and really unique and critical points. Craig, thank you so much for giving us the insight, and that's a kind of a really important insight that's going to help a lot of people in making them conscious of these mistakes and give them feedback. And that's something really I felt I used to do a lot of these mistakes myself when I was prepping at that time. So yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate it a lot. طيب كريج ادانا الفيدباك هنا ملخص مره قوي، فما حد يتجهز او اعتماد على انجازات سابقه. قلنا يعني كثير، اعطانا مختصر these a lot of points. ف كايس كذا عندكم الخلاصه.